I think this would be applicable to anytime anybody's playing DPS or anything that has fall-off damage. But mostly this was something I learned about McCree. So I wanted to mention this to you, JTS.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that the way that Overwatch works in terms of fall-off damage is that if you are like horizontal fall-off damage is different in terms of like their mathematical equations than it is for vertical fall-off damage. So if you take like what is it for McCree? 20
meters.
20 meters. Okay, so 20 meters is where you start to get fall off from McCree at horizontal, you know, like if you're fighting somebody horizontally. But if you take into account like a Pharah, your fall off range actually differs. It's weird, and I don't really know exactly what the amount is and where it starts taking effect and where it doesn't. So that's something I think that you might want to, if you're curious about, like look into. But I do understand that it's not 20 meters in like a full like circumference.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that when I'm playing. I just didn't know like it was an actual thing.
Yep.
The other thing, I definitely noticed myself three-shotting Pharahs at ranges where I normally couldn't.
The other thing was that his Deadeye does not take into account damage that is being taken while you're in Deadeye. So like where you're in Deadeye and you're looking for the skull to like eliminate an enemy. And it usually will pop up quicker if the enemy is not at full health, right?
Yeah.
Well, it does not take into account damage that is being done while you're in Deadeye. So you can actually still eliminate an enemy without seeing the skull.
So long as they're taking damage.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that was just something I wanted to pass on there. So, in terms of focusing targets, I did want to try to make this easier for some people, or for everybody really, because I know that it's going to be more difficult for some people to know when they should call out somebody to focus when they don't think they should. I think that what we need to focus on, like in generalities, right, without getting into like who has ultimates on the enemy team and who's going to be like the biggest threats, etc., etc. I think the biggest thing that we can focus on is that we want to look at DPS as being our main priority to remove first, or to focus first, then healers, then tanks. If we remove the DPS, then there's nobody that can really remove us. We remove the healers, then tanks can't stay alive, etc. Only really big difference on that would be Ana Mercy. Ana's kit is extremely like hardcore, so she's probably ranked up there with being one of the most important to focus down ASAP with the DPS. And then Mercy is only really as good as her res, outside of being just a main healer. We actually probably want to try to wait as long as we can to remove her in order to eliminate the possibility of her coming back from spawn to get a res. I don't think that we should be gunning down her first.
Yeah.
That's up for debate, but that's what I'm thinking. Unless we know for a fact that she has res, then maybe we can try to consider moving her up in the focus category. Also, big thing would be to focus players that are out of position. So awareness is key. Looking around, seeing what's going on. Any players on the enemy team that are obviously just out on their own, alone, and shouldn't be there, That's who we should be taking care of, because they're the easiest, most prime targets. On top of that, because DPS is probably the most important, flankers are going to be the most important DPS to take care of, because they are going to be the ones attacking our supports. They're also going to be the easiest to turn on top of. So we want to try to focus flankers, everybody all at once, anytime that we have it, especially if we're in a position to do so. This is going to be kind of comp specific as to who stays and who goes on chokes and things like that, but that's going to be the kind of the main thing. So flankers, I think, are going to be the biggest #1 most priority targets. Then any DPS that is kind of like out on their own, most likely like a widow or a soldier that's taking like a high ground position that we can get to. And then outside of that, you know, we don't really want to chase anything down if they're too far out of sorts. We don't want to leave like a control point or give up high ground just to eliminate somebody if that's unfavorable, if we're giving up a good position, or if we're going to give up capture or whatever the case may be. So basically, DPS is going to be our main targets. People who are out of position, Ana, sometimes Mercy. Next would be healers. Lucio we can kind of pretty much leave alone for the most part, unless he's contesting payload or something like that. And then tanks. This is going to have some leeway in it, but that's what we should do. Also, Zarya will take a DPS role if she's highly charged. So if she's high charged, she's a high priority. Outside of that, I think that's pretty much all we really need to be looking for as we're trying to get used to this and practice this. Any additions, comments, anything that we would disagree with?
No, not disagree, but I was gonna say when on maps where you're holding choke and somebody flanks around and gets on the point, we need to determine like who goes and who doesn't go.
So here's what I was thinking about that, right? So if we're running a dive comp, then we're not really going to be holding choke anyway. So everybody's gonna dive on that target.
Okay.
Yeah, in my mind, that's what I'm thinking.
But what if we're running death ball?
If we're running death ball, right, we're gonna have like Reinhardt. So Reinhardt shouldn't be leaving the choke unless it's absolutely 100% necessary. If we can continue to hold the choke, we should. We shouldn't all be falling out of the choke for one Tracer or Genji or Pharah on the point. What we should be doing there is kind of splitting 6 and 6. So Rein stays, off tank goes.
Okay.
One support stays, Lucio goes. One DPS stays, one DPS goes. That's loose, but no more than 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody flanks, and if it seems necessary, send 3. Gotcha. At most.
Right. Yeah. I would say more often than not, like, we're gonna probably send a DPS and Lucio, and then potentially off-tank, depending on what our off-tank is and what the flanker is. Right? So, Zarya may not be useful, but she could be. Diva would be useful if it's a Pharah. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna depend on who and what.
Okay.
Or a Reaper in some cases.
Right, a Reaper in some cases, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, does anybody have any additions to that? Anybody think I'm way off base? Anything that we want to change? I was just thinking about it and thought this would be a good way to start.
No.
At least.
It makes
No,
sense.
that's a good point.
Yeah, the only thing I would on that is the idea of priority does depend, map point area,
Or
ult economy.
Or the biggest threat.
Exactly. It's that stuff changes from time to time, but what you have is a very nice baseline of what we should be doing.
I wanted to kind of put a general rule of thumb there, and we're not going to know alt economy. I don't want somebody like, I don't want Rodan or JTS or I don't want anybody really to be thinking like, oh wait, does this person have alt? But this person's out of position. But this is Mercy. But wait, who do we? I just want people to look at a target and be like, no, this is a good target. We need to get them now.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to start with.
Yeah, we need to do simple.
Right.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Unless we know, unless we are 100% certain, say one of us dies to an enemy hero, and we see that they have ult and they have alt charge, then maybe we can relay that to the team, and we know, okay, that's who the target is that we need to focus next. But like, if we aren't keeping good enough tabs on that, then I don't think that we should be allowing that to hinder our progression in comms.
Alright, yeah. That will solve a lot of issues that I've had
I
personally.
mean, we gotta start simple, start somewhere,
Yeah.
I think, so.
Alright, so
Also-
before we go in, who's doing the shot calling and stuff like that? I mean, tactical and shit.
I think Potato's gonna take care of it for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take both roles.
So, Potato, in terms of the strategical stuff, I'd like to make a request for one comp I want to try out.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Main tank Orisa.
Well, yeah, that we can do that. Thing is, it depends, like I said, it depends on map, but the reason I'm a lot of the times keeping these comps simple is because, you know, we can't experiment with comps until we get basic down, you know?
Right.
We can't experiment with tricky strategies until we can understand comps, and everything kind of it's a pyramid scheme, one giant pyramid scheme.
Exactly. Yep.
Everything cascades into everything else, but what?
How is this comparable to a pyramid scheme?
I'm. It is.
Everything trickles down.
Damn it. Damn it, Rodan.
It is a pyramid. You can't build from the top down, you know.
Okay, so it's not a pyramid scheme, it's a pyramid.
Pyramid, yeah.
Alright, whatever you want.
Rodan, shut the fuck up.
Did nobody collect Rodan's dues?
Wait, you know, he makes a fucking request to play Orisa. He gets acknowledged and say, yeah, we can try it, and then goes on to shoot himself in the fucking foot.
Yeah. So bad. We can't do a Ripple now, Rodan. Fuck that.
Aww,
Not gonna happen.
Should have kept your mouth shut.
Congratulations.
Nah, Ray, we agreed to have fun today. Don't you take away my fun.
No, there's no fun allowed.
No. We agreed to have fun outside of battles and strategy.
That's actually.
We're clearly in a battle right now. We're in a battle. Can you not tell?
Yeah.
check the title of my stream. Check the title of my stream, and you'll understand stuff.
Where's your stream? Twitch?
YouTube.
Oh!
Boo boo.
What's your channel called?
Strategist
Strategist
Potato. Thanks for getting angry for me, Jay.
Favorite.
I know,
favorite
right?
fucking
Jesus.
YouTuber other than Moon Stream.
Meow.
I'm sorry, he'll ask again next week.
No fun allowed. How dare you?
The description.
None.
Hey, so I have a question. What happened to 4?
I didn't have a 4.
What happened to Extravaganza 4?
I couldn't. Well,
Why did you name this one 5?
I couldn't record yesterday, so it's like the Rick and Morty thing. It's the Return of World Ender is the third one, not the second one.
Okay, your reference means nothing to me because I don't watch Rick and Morty.
That's because you're a scrub.
You're a
Stop
scrub.
me the Rodan. I don't know.
Well, that
I
makes
think
sense.
you
You
have
wouldn't be able to
vote.
follow it anyway.
Ooh.
Damn.
No. How many of you understand the entirety of Kingdom Hearts lore?
I don't.
Does it matter?
That is multiple times more complicated than anything Rick and Morty can offer.
Does it?
Oh, it's more complicated. Oh, it's Kingdom Hearts. Ooh, I'm a normie. Ooh, no, Rodan.
I hate all of you.
Non-canon Disney Channel lore?
You guys do not understand the trials I went through to understand that fucking game.
All right,
Yeah,
what's
it's not meant to be understood.
what's more
And I
confusing?
understand all of it.
What's more confusing, Kingdom Hearts or Bayonetta? Here's a question for
What's
you.
Bayonetta?
All right, fuck you. If you don't know what Bayonetta is.
Yes, I do. I have it in my on my Wii U. That was
Bayonetta's definitely not meant to be understood.
Nope.
Okay, I understand
I haven't
it
even-
completely. It's on the front of my gun. Haha, original meme. Finally!
Hey! Alright.
What a perfect segue.
Right at 10:30. This is awesome.
Everybody
Or
loves
11:30
Pumbani.
for y'all.
Boom Bonnie.
Oh shit. This is the
Voting.
wrestling map, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
Boom.
Let's run dive.
They locked the Pro Genji.
I do want dive just to keep things started out and get the pace rolling, but I want a suds on soldier, please. And Jay would like to go on Doom Fist.
I've been waiting so long!
They have a gold border, by the way, so.
I think I know that person though. I think they're on my friends list. One second. They're Mercy Man, if they are. If that's
Not on this friends list.
No, not this friends list. No, my other friends list. That's my friend on my other. Oh wow.
Do you actually know them?
I played with them, and I think it's Warrior friend, and I joined, and we became friends.
Gleamy? Oh, they're gone.
Yeah, that was Gleaming. They was a Mercy Man. Is all the Warrior friends Mercy Man?
Probably.
I mean, she ingratiated herself with Wolf's group.
Like, how do you make those friends in game?
Right, if you're all playing Mercy.
Hey, can I play Mercy? Can I play Mercy? Can I play Mercy?
Now?
No, you're saying his friends.
Alright, let's go high ground.
Sure.
Ava Symmetra.
Symmetra.
Yep. And Torb, Widow top side right.
I'm gonna go over there and bully them. She's low?
I'm a diver.
Oh shit.
Torp turret
There's
down.
one, there we go. Get the Torb.
Reaper
Good
behind.
stuff, guys.
Reaper
He's up top.
He's dead.
Stop.
Nice. Nice take. Diva behind.
Get the Diva.
Jim's alone over here.
Alright, don't leave her, leave her, leave her.
Okay.
No, I mean, I was talking to the Diva, about the Diva.
Oh, shit.
They have an Ana. And a Hanzo.
Hanzo 1.
What's up?
Diva's escorted. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Here comes Reaper.
Coming in.
I'm with you, Jay.
Focus Reaper.
I'm pretty sure we got this.
Oh, yeah.
Diva's at a mech.
Nice.
I don't see anyone behind us. So.
Alright, just keep pushing, keep forward.
Oh.
McCree's left side.
Sim was,
Guys,
Sim was setting up on high ground.
Alright.
you want to dive the McCree?
Not yet, not yet. Is the McCree
I
on?
think he's going high ground.
Alright, alright. Diva's still
He's
not in
behind.
mech.
McCree behind.
McCree behind, dive, dive, dive.
Get him. There we go.
Nice one,
Alright,
guys.
get the Diva, get the Diva, get the Diva. There's a Widow in the back.
Once she's out of mech, I'll probably ult.
Symmetra, Symmetra.
Soldier ult.
Got him back.
You got him, mate.
Symmetra just jumped down.
Where's the Sim?
She's dead.
Alright, cool, cool. Keep pushing payload.
There's someone behind you. I think Sim is up top behind you.
No, she's dead.
No, she died.
Let's hurt this up.
Widow, she's by the right spawn. Nice. Get him, guys. Nice. Guys, we've started rolling them again.
Rodan, don't do that.
We've started rolling them again. How is that not a roll?
Hey, nice,
Whoa.
nice, Ray.
I did nothing that entire match.
I mean, yep.
That's how I felt, yeah.
That's,
Sometimes playing Winston doesn't feel like you're doing anything. You're doing a lot.
I'm not in it for the glory.
Oh, come on.
get all
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Wow, Ray actually voted for once.
I was number 12. I just wanted to be a part of something.
Something bigger than myself.
God damn it, Ray.
Which means we didn't even need Ray's help to hit 10. Wow.
Today, Junior.
Today, Junior.
Torbeard.
Ready to fire.
Alright, now we're running Orisa defense.
Oh.
Orisa's good on Numbani. But we are going to run something a little bit off kilter because I want they're leaving the game shit. I wanna have something a little bit more divey. So I want Orisa Diva.
Ooh.
Okay, I assume you're running Orisa Rider.
Yeah, Ryder. Take Orisa.
Jay, I want you on Tracer. Suds, can you handle Soldier? And
I don't think I've ever played him before.
Rodan, just so we can get this out of the way, you're playing Torb.
Oh. Ready to fire.
We
I
are
think
going
Rodan just came.
Yeah, we're running this seriously, so I'm not just memeing it up too much, because this is going to be a divey, the divey Orisa strat.
Don't worry, I can play Torb well. We're good.
Okay.
He just said no to me.
Alright, so basically we're setting up top, back corner, typical Torb spot with the strat. But I do want to have our DPS pushed forward on opposite sides of it. So Jay is going to be over on the right side while Suds is going to be over here. Okay. This way we can actually have some space and movement when we start the dive. Make sense?
Yep.
If they go under or they go up high ground.
They have a Reaper on a Diva.
Yeah. We only dive once they only dive once they get to the point, understand?
Okay.
Let's get you back out there.
Diva coming up here.
Hog high ground.
She's almost out of mech, she's running.
Alright.
Let me put it in my...
Genji's up high ground left.
Yep. Here comes Roadhog. Alright. Wait till they start to push point.
Hamza across the way.
Soldier and Diva right side. Just to the heal. Oh god. Thank you.
Someone's coming up the stairs on our right.
It's Soldier.
Let's get you back out there. I'm here.
Nice one,
There's
guys.
a hog going stairs. He's forcing me all the way down, so...
Alright. Alright, Diva.
Shit, I fell.
Support right. Alright, back up. She backed up.
There's a hog over here. So.
Alright, Suds, can you go support him, please?
My turret doesn't have a shield right now.
Kill it.
It's down.
Diva's coming to your turret.
They're on point. Alright, start the dive. Orisa, stay up top. Diva Tracer Soldier down. Actually, Diva Tracer Torb. I got that wrong. Suds, you keep high ground. Only dive down when you need to, okay?
Okay.
I want the mobile and the tanky characters to dive the point. So that's Alright. I got hooked.
I tried to see there.
I was out of position now.
Guys, Diva and Hog coming stairs. I'm gonna die to this Diva most likely.
Here comes...
Oh shit.
Genji's behind. And Tracer.
Okay.
Tracer 1.
Tracer's low.
Okay, finally.
Damage
There's some armor over here by the turret.
Hog on the far side.
I'm coming
Devo,
down.
mate.
Hog ulting from up top.
Hanzo coming from the basement.
Oh shit! Can you block him, please?
I've got no matrix for that.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
He's 1.
Nice.
There's a hog.
You're down
Oh,
in here.
God.
Here. Here.
Immer unterbricht mich jemand bei der Arbeit.
Tactical visor ready for
I'm
deployment.
coming back.
Get that
The
armor,
hog is
Suds.
still somewhere behind you.
I've got armor.
Oh, okay.
Hog
Right,
is
move
going
left.
staircase. Hog is going up to you guys,
you.
as well as Diva.
Okay. I'm down.
Soldier on point.
I'm not there to contest.
Heroes never die. I've got you.
Putting a piece on point.
Hanzo's high ground.
Diva's up here. He's got a mech.
Oh, let me get up. Let me get up. Thank you.
Taking care of
Alright, alright.
I think Hog is under me right now.
you. You should be
Keep an eye on him.
performance levels.
He is. Yep.
Oh, behind us, behind us. Behind us, Rissa.
Oh shit.
That was my bad.
Nice, nice, nice. Good hold.
Good one, guys.
So do you see the concept behind that? It's the idea of holding high ground with tanky heroes, but having enough substance on the point where we can do damage from afar.
We can kind of get up and down as we need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, that works. Ready to fall.
That being said, we've had our fun, so now we're gonna start running a little bit more basic comps.
Alright.
There you go.
Damage.
There you go. There you go. Rodan, you get your Tor play in.
Yep. Oh, I love playing Torb. He's fun.
Oh, Herbjorn.
Hey guys, I'm considering getting an Orisa gold gun.
My career average for soldier is 27 eliminations.
Good.
I mean, we've been playing fast matches, so that's pretty good
Yes,
considering.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey, look, another Orisa. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're gonna run Death Ball in this one. Simple Zaryaran. However, we're gonna change it up a bit. So I want to run Lucio on first point and then Zen on second point.
Ooh, yes. This is the type of thing I like.
Second point has more consistent sight lines. First point has,
Yep.
you know, the obvious ones, but and then I want Tracer Genji, please.
Nice.
Oh wait, after we lose the first point, do you want me to go to Zen? That's what your plan is?
After we get the first point,
Get the first point. Gotcha.
we're on attack.
I forgot. I was thinking about defense and I thought... You remember that story I said about that toxic,
Are you guys in the
toxic
game?
duo that I was playing with in comp?
Yeah.
Do I need to back us out?
No. Has it started?